kind of a rough city. It is rife with corruption. It is a city ruled by the golden rule. That is, he who has the gold makes it the rules. You guys are currently in the Blade and Stars Inn, which is in the lower city close to Elfsong Tavern, but without the annoying, wake up call at 2 in the morning, of a ghost. And it's called that because it used to have a magical wooden shield on the front of it that would glimmer and with like little star-like motes of light on the front of it to draw people in. It's early evening, and it's kind of like getting into late autumn, so it's kind of cold outside, and early fog has actually rolled in off the river. As a result, the inside of the inn is busy. Lots of people kind of crammed in here to get near the fire, and while it's a comfortable inn, it is kind of on the bad side of town. So you see, you don't see so many nobles in here. You do see lots of sailors, lots of traveling merchants. You see some people that look like they kind of know how to handle a blade. One of those people is, Ezra Kex. He's a bounty hunter. Yep. And Ezra, you're kind of sitting in the, kind of like the corner of the room, kind of looking at the crowd, because you're pretty sure there's a guy in here that you've been tracking for a while. His name is Sol Kanads, and he's a kind of a known pickpocket, but a couple weeks ago he picked the pocket of one of the patriarchs, who are kind of like the wealthy people who do things like sit in the parliament. He picked one of their pockets and got away with a rather large ruby. Now, in this time, the ruby's probably been fenced, and no one's ever expecting to see it again. But the patriarch in question was kind of pissed off about this, so he had kind of put up just a generic bounty that he would pay 10 gold to anybody who could bring that guy into the fist or the watch. And you're pretty sure that you see him there, kind of at the bar. You're not well known at all. You're a face in the crowd. And what does your character look like as you sit down next to him? All right, yeah. So you sit down. You get a drink. It's ale on tap tonight. And Ron's kind of nods to you. He's got his own mug. You can see he's kind of wearing this faded gambeson. Yeah. And he kind of takes a draw off his mug. Well, getting out of the cold, I suppose, like everybody else. Well, looks like winter's come early. How about you? What brings you in? he kind of he kind of like pulls it up and just kind of draws it all the way down, kind of putting the empty mug on the bar. Uh, no, not for me. I gotta get going. Got a business meeting to get to. See him throw a couple of copper on the bar to pay for the drink. Waves to the bartender, and he turns to start walking towards the exit. It's nice meeting you. All right. As you follow him out, I'm going to need a perception check. Yeah, you get to the door and you look out, but with the fog rolling in, you don't see him. Um, Astaroth. Yeah, so you're sitting down at a table, just kind of enjoying a early dinner, and some drinks here. Some assholes over there holding the door open, letting all the cold air in. He's like 5 feet away from you. He does, Ashrod. He doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you. Now, Ezra, even with your, past perception, you would notice this rather burly dragonborn behind you. Well, as long as he didn't try to jump out the window, so sometimes yes. For something like this, it's not that crucial. It's more crucial when you're like saying a dungeon, and it's like, well, what side of the door are you on when you close it? It's not always suspicious when I ask, now, what exactly do you mean by that? turns out that the burly, like, like hulk of a dragonborn, the Desians of Baldur's Gate just kind of naturally give you somewhat of a buffer around you. They don't want to provoke you into snapping them in half. It really is. Like, basically, the table you're at is kind of like the only table with free chairs at the moment. Absolutely. It is kind of mystery meat because animals come in from all over the place to Baldur's Gate. Who knows what you're eating? Yeah, this monkey, like small, like lemur-like monkeys, kind of drops down onto Urzel or Ezra. Sorry. Urzel is a name in a different campaign. That's why I keep thinking of it. Sorry, Ezra. Yeah. Go ahead and make a nature check. Yeah, he has a little pet monkey. So all the skill checks are D20s. So it will be a D20 plus the modifier for nature under skills. Slash R. You're pretty sure it's a blend of pork and something a bit gamier, but you're not quite sure what that other part is. It, it's good. It's hearty and filling. Most of the meals in an inn like this would be. Yeah, no problem. So you're going with Poseidon instead of Aquaman? No, I'm asking. Okay. All right, it's Poseidon. So, you've just finished kind of unloading the ship you came in on, and you headed into town to get bite to eat. You've been here before. The Blade and Stars is a pretty good place to get some food. It's usually like the food is safe. They're not going to feed you like poison or shit, and they don't tend to like buffer all the bread with sawdust. But it's also like on the shittier side of town, close to the docks. So it's also not going to cost you your entire like week's wages just to get a meal. Yeah, so you as the fog is rolling in, you're kind of walking down the cobblestone streets. Given that the sun is setting, the crowds that would normally be here during the midday are gone. The streets are nearly deserted. Every so often, you just kind of hear the sound of like boots in the mist type thing. Splash here and there, someone steps in the gutter. But you make your way, uneventfully to the Blade and Stars, and you walk in. And the first thing that kind of assaults you as you open that door is that it's the bar, yes. And the Blade and Stars is the name of it. Yep. And you walk in, you're just assaulted by the noise. Now, it is a packed night. And as you're kind of looking around, closing the door behind you, you notice that the only real places to sit are at this one table with this hulk of a dragonborn and the shady looking guy with leather armor and a cloak. And he's got a monkey on his shoulders for some reason. For player-to-player interactions, typically it'll just be you guys talking. I'm not going to have you guys make social checks for just talking with each other unless something weird is going on. All right, yeah. So you sit down, you order some ale, and you get you know, like would you rather go for the meat pie or the stew? All right. Yeah, some pork, something else. There's a there's a pastry crust, vegetables baked into it, gravy. Now, Zambini, I got a question for you. So, packed crowd. I assume you're trying. And here's the question: is are you like trying to like work the crowd like you would be doing like performances and stuff for money? All right. Then why don't you give me a quick performance check so we can have an idea of what kind of night you're having. You have had like this Zambini has been one of those nights. All the tricks have been on point. You know, people have just been kind of lapping up this kind of entertainment left, right, and center. Um, you've actually made like 14 gold just kind of work in the room, assuming you did nothing else except do like just like sleight of hand and magic tricks the entire time. All right. And that's when that odd group of people by the door kind of catch your eye. And they're not quite as packed, but these aren't just longshoremen. These aren't just traveling merchants. These people look a bit different. Make an insight check. They look like adventurers of some kind. And adventurers always have money. So, what exactly does the amazing Zambini look like as he approaches this table of adventurers? I have. Top hat and all? Mm-hmm. So, you guys see this man in what appears to be a dark type of like overcoat with a white tunic. He's got this top hat on and he's approaching your table. I don't know if he has a drink in his hand, do you? He's you probably notice him when he's like 8 feet away, but he can very quick. He kind of very quickly just kind of closes in on your table. Okay. Uh, Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. Hmm. Yeah, you grab a card and kind of leave one behind without really disturbing any of the rest of them. Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay. All right, sure. All right. Zambini, why don't you give me a perception check? So he slips. So you can tell as he's kind of giving the card back to you, Zambini, he's done you dirty. Okay. Well, that would be a sleight of hand check on Zambini's part and a perception check on Ezra. All right, Ezra. So as he's like showing you the card you slipped into his deck and asking you if it's a card, you kind of feel his hand kind of rifling through your pocket for the card. All right, Zambini, you grab his card. He doesn't appear to be aware. Yep. Food arrives quickly and it's piping hot. they kind of size the pies for the size of the person. It's getting a it's settling down a bit. The whole happy hour rush is kind of finishing up. People are tending to get their meals or find company and head off to different parts. It it doesn't seem unusual to you in any way. Like it's like pretty standard night at an inn or a bar here. Um, that's it. Yes, it does have rooms upstairs. You can rent places to stay for the night. Depends on how nice of a room you want to get. Kind of like equivalent of like middle class is like a golden night. All right. Yeah, the barkeep just kind of nods, takes a gold, hands you kind of this blackened key, and you pick it up. It's iron. It's just been handled so much it's turned black over time, and it tells you which room you're in. All right. Well, as you're grabbing your key and you're starting to get ready to head off, another man does approach your table, and you guys can all, as you're kind of like finishing your meal and getting ready to grab a night at the inn, as it were. Um, you see, and he appears to be dressed in fine clothes. Like this isn't armor. This isn't working clothes. These are the kind of clothes you would expect to see like a patriarch wearing, or like yeah, kind of like nobles' robes. But you don't recognize him. He isn't one of the dukes. He isn't famous. He isn't well known. And he's kind of walks up and takes a seat at your table. Oh, good evening, gentlemen. I am Lord Humol, and have a bit of a problem I'm hoping you can help me with. People such as yourselves seem to be capable of a lot of different tasks. Well, the task is I need you to find someone. A friend of mine. His name is Graf Viraz. He went missing a few nights ago, and I rather would like to know what became of him. Or, if he is still among the living, know where he is. As for the price, I'm afraid while I may dress nicely, I do not have much wealth to my name. But I used to. And what I can offer you is this. And he pulls this rather nice looking ring off his finger and kind of sets it on the table in front of him. This is a magic ring. It has been in my family for 400 years. Graf is a good friend of mine, and it is not like him to be out of contact for so long. If you find him, or find out what happened to him, this ring is yours. It appears to be almost like a signet ring. It is has like a shield design on it, and you can see small little tourmalines kind of set into it. Looks like this. Maybe. I'd say make an investigation check. So you're looking at it, and if it's a magic ring like he says, it could be worth anywhere from 400 to 4,000 gold. Yeah, and when you ask that, he's like, alas, our family's fortunes are not what they used to be. And I'm afraid I only have the one ring. However, as I said, it is magical, and I'm sure Rivlin, uh, the proprietor of Sorceress Sundries, would certainly give you a decent price for it. You guys would know that Sorceress Sundries is kind of like a magic shop. Basically, sells common magic items. It's run by a mage named Revelin Blackhand. Excellent. I'll be here for foreseeable future. If you need to reach me, simply leave a note with the bartender here at the Blade and Stars. And as I said, my name is Lortumel. They will know how to get it to me. The last I spoke with him, he was making a was picked up some work as a courier, and he said he was running a package of some import, um, you know, to one of the dukes. Unfortunately, he did not mention which one it was, and depending on which one it was, he may or may not be in deep shit. If I had to guess, I would say it is most likely Duke Portier. He is somewhat known as a businessman, and I could see him having use for couriers. Yes. So you guys would know, just from your time in Baldur's Gate, that while Baldur's Gate is ruled by the Grand Duke Ravengard, who's also the commander in chief of the Flaming Fist mercenary company, there are three other dukes that run Baldur's Gate. There is Duke Stelmane, who is known as a vigorous and formidable politician. Duke Portier, who was a respected businessman before he kind of turned into a politician. And then there's Duke Vanthamper, who is known for being acid-tongued, shrewd, and aggressive. No, you don't. But Astaroth does. Because Astaroth, you used to be part of the Flaming Fist. And Duke Portier's niece, Liara Portier, has recently returned to Baldur's Gate after leading an expedition of the Flaming Fist in the jungles of Chult. Hello? I guess I did. I don't know. You just disconnected there. Yeah. Discord weirdness. I hear you. I had that happen to me last night too on Discord. I wonder if their servers are having issues. What was the last thing you heard me say? Okay. Yeah, so Astaroth, you would know from when you were in the Flaming Fist that Duke Portier had a niece, Liara Portier, who was an officer kind of high up in the Flaming Fist. She was actually, when you were in the Flaming Fist, she had just been sent down to Chult to lead an expedition of the Flaming Fist down there. And kind of one of the things that's kind of a buzz about the town currently is that she has returned. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no problem. Okay, you can hear me now, though, right? All right. So what I was saying is, Ezra had asked if he knew any contacts that might be potentially able to get him in contact with Duke Portier, and I said that he doesn't, but you do. because you used to be in the Flaming Fist. Duke Portier's niece, whose name is Liara Portier, is a high-ranking officer in the Flaming Fist. Now, when you had left for the monastery, she had just been deployed to Chult, leading an expedition down there. One of the things that's kind of a buzz about the town currently is that she has returned. You know, she is in town. That might make things tricky. I hear you. Well, Ashtrot said something, but no one apparently was responding to him. Well, then I will leave it in your capable hands. You know how to get in contact with me when the job is complete. And Lord Tumul stands up, nods to each of you, and then walks out the front door. Right, he only nods to you. He doesn't bow. Yeah, you guys finish your meals. You go to your respective domiciles or rooms, and you guys have a nice long rest. Sunrise comes, and you find yourselves reconvening at that same table in the Blade and Stars Inn. Right. So to give you a sense of scale on the what he's offering you in terms of price, Poseidon, you would earn like 2 silver pieces a day working on a ship. You know, he's offering to pay you many times that for doing a job that's probably only going to take you a couple of days. Yeah, he can jump ship. All right, and that it's enough to live on. Yeah, adventuring pays well. It's just super risky. I just assumed you were joining. Sorry. He did acknowledge you, Zambini. Like he did nod to you when he was leaving. Excellent. All right. As the sun rises and the fog kind of begins to dissipate, you start to see, merchants and carts and things start to move along the street, and their daily dance down the main roads towards the wide to set up their stalls. And I think that is where we will leave it for the night.